I'd like to show you a little bit of what it means to exempt or have a grade exempted in the Blackboard system. When you look at a class, in this case I happen to be logged in as a student demo, and I'm looking at a geometry class. On the left hand side in my grades I can see that I have a geometry class, and I don't have a grade letter yet. That's probably because I haven't done any work in that particular class yet, so there's nothing listed there. And when I go over to the right hand side of the panel, I can see the geometry grade details. I can look at this view by looking at all the items. I can look at what's been graded, I can look at what's coming up in my course, and what's submitted, or what has been submitted. But in this case I'm going to look at all the items in the geometry grades. And as I look through here, I see these funny looking gray symbols. Those gray symbols, when I hold my mouse steady over the icon, tells me that they're exempt. Now, exempt just means that the teacher has marked them as exempted, or that I don't need to do them. This means I do not need to do these 3 assignments because they've been marked exempt. If I do them, and I can do them, but if I do them, they won't be graded and they won't count against or for my grade. And so they've been exempted, they've just been removed. They're still there, I can still work on them, I could still actually submit assignments to teachers, but they're not going to be counted towards my final grade. So I can skip them and they won't impact my final grade. In fact, in some cases when we've transferred data from other systems or moved things around, some of your assignments may be exempted. And so keep an eye out for those gray circles, because that means you do not have to do that particular assignment for whatever reason. It may be the teacher has skipped it, it may be that your data's been converted from another system. Whatever the reason is, you do not have to do any of the assignments with the gray circles. So just be aware of that. You can then, in this particular case, we would start with test number 2, measuring segments. That's where we would pick up, and we can see that we have to do that because there's a little dash here and it shows that there's a total of 10 points. So we can see that the next thing that we need to do is this test 2, measuring segments. It's out of 10 points and we need to complete that particular assignment in the geometry class. And then if we scroll down a little bit further, we see that this other one has been exempted as well because of the gray circle. So after we were finished test number 2, we would go down to test number 3, angle pairs. So that's exempting. You may also see this when you get into the geometry class, and if you're in the geometry class and you look at my grades, you can also see the exempt marks when you're looking at the full list of grades for the geometry class. This is just another place to go. My grades in each course, you can see your grades, and as you look at the grades, as you scroll down, you can see the same thing, which ones have been exempted or which ones have not been completed or completed, depending on what you're looking at. And so this is just another way of looking at those exempt marks. But just remember, you don't have to do the exempt marks when you see them in Blackboard.